morning. I was going to try my microphone, but I realised that I haven't charged the things and I'm just impatient, so I'll just have to yell at my phone instead. Okay, so today I am making leather patches for my balls for shooting. So um, these are my balls, not very big. But in the big scheme of things, this is for my black powder shooting, but they're a bit rough. Now I've roughed them up so they aren't nice and smooth. I know some people might like smooth balls, but a bit like golf, if you hit a golf ball that was smooth, it would actually go all over the place. So they actually have little dimples in them, so they'll fly straight. So I found that if I rough up my balls a little bit, they fly straighter, and I get a tighter grouping, which is fantastic. Now the reason why I'm patching my balls is because I've got a rifled black powder rifle, flintlock and everything like that, and so the patch helps grip the ball into the rifling, and so when it fires and travels down the barrel, it'll spin and make it more accurate. So that's what we believe that they used. They either had their balls in paper cartridges or they had them in the some sort of patch. One of my friends has actually got an extant ball still with its patch on, which looks very similar to this. So what I've been using is very thin, soft leather that I've got from one of the local hobby shops. It's almost like a chamois sort of leather. Now this leather I've got lots and lots of these little squares, which because of the 60 cal ball, it's about 3.5 centimeters square. I was making my patches out of canvas before, and they work really well. I'm really happy with them. But the more historically accurate ones, I believe, are leather patch, so I'm trialing them out. So, but you can't just simply put a patch around it. You'll have these 4 separate areas that are sticking out, and it becomes much harder to load. What you want is, as I showed you here, that it almost looks like a black pudding or something like that, but it's gripping on. It spins wonderfully. So, how do I do that? Well, beforehand I used to wrap it around and just trim. But then I realized if I just simply snip, unfold it, refold it the other way, and then snip, I get something that fits around my balls nice and snugly. Now, but as you can see, it doesn't stay on. So I actually get, come on, not a big needle and thread, and I stitch the leather patch around my balls. And it is not intended to be a permanent stitch. It's just in there to hold it on. One of the things I do, it won't be here in the shot, but I've just got a tin that's full of lard, and whenever I need it, I pull it out of the fridge, heat it up so it's molten, and then I dip by the little thread into the molten lead, and you'll see it sizzle. Now, if anybody's ever played with working with things in leather and wanting to harden leather, one of the things you can do is you can put it into boiling water, boiling oil. Generally, I avoid the boiling oil because one of the guys I knew got very excited about hardening leather with oil and forgot to take it off the hob and set fire to his house. process. That's a different story. So what I've done, I've put the threaded the thread through, put the needle through the tips of the little cross, if you want to call it like that. And it's almost like a drawstring pouch or something like that. I then, sorry, it's out of shot because it's a little bit finicky. I put my ball in and I pull the thread tight. Now you just have to make sure that you don't have the leather twisted or anything like that. I'm using a cotton thread. You could use a linen thread, or whatever one you use. I would suggest that you don't have a very robust thread. The intention is for this thread to break either while I'm loading. Sorry, so I've just done a little double knot, just long enough to put it in. So there I got one thread, tying it all up, and I dip it into the lard and it will sizzle. When it sizzles, it'll harden a little bit, and I've got ones that I've already fired and they actually work quite well, and you can feel that they're stiffer. And one of the bonuses, if it's once it's been dipped, I don't know whether you can see much of a difference, but you can see that the dipped one here is a bit shinier, because that's because of the lard, but it actually holds grips around the ball. So when you put it in the bag that holds your balls, your ball bag, they all should stay together and not come apart. And because the last thing you want to do in a battle is looking for your patch and looking for your balls. You just want to put your hand into your ball bag and pull out a ball so you can load and shoot. Anyway, so that is my TED talk for today. It's going to be like 41 degrees, so it's going to be something that I can do whilst watching the Lord of the Rings and things like that. Okay, have a wonderful time. I've just taken less than 8 minutes of your life, so thank you very much for that. Bye.